Ba-da-ba. A-ba-da-ba. A-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba. A-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, I'm going to give it a couple, 20, 30, about a minute, minute and a half. Let everything kind of get to going, get the juices flowing. I'm kind of doing a little intro video here. In case y'all don't know who I am, I'm SRC Sticky Haze TV, and this is the TrapHouse podcast. This will be episode 3, the final episode of Meeting Your Caster. We will go from where me and my wife shared our kiss after we had broken up, and now we're on the road to getting back together, and all the way till current day. Alrighty, we're gonna fire this up, and like everything else in life, you know what I'm saying, we gotta start off the podcast with a little something I enjoy. You know what I mean? I did it last week. All right, here we go.
Anyway, have a great weekend, and let me tell you something. Hit it, Lee. Get up, cocksuckers. It's all over. Listen, we had a rough couple of months. Fucking Katrina's cousin Maria. The other one, Puerto Rico, Houston, fucking Florida. Listen, it's been tough up to now. The earthquake in Mexico. The White House, whoever the fuck is going on. But it don't matter. They want to shoot. It's time for us to fucking shoot, cocksuckers. They want to get down and dirty. Don't forget who the fuck we are. You understand me? We're the baddest motherfuckers out there. You send a message to that fucking North Korean. He's gonna be sniffing my dick and sucking my asshole. That's the focus. We're going to North Korea in like a year. It's gonna be an island. It's gonna glow in the dark. You know why? Because we're Americans, cocksuckers. Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with? Stop with the gun control. They're selling more guns than ever the last 3 days. Stop with the fucking whining. Stop with the Russians on Facebook. I don't give a fuck. Worry about yourself. Keep your eyes open and get the fuck off Snapchat and fucking Twitter, cocksucker. Stay black.
If y'all don't know who Joey Diaz is, he's one of my favorite comedians, and honestly, man, he just tickles me fucking pink. He stays true to him, in my opinion, and that's what it's all about. You can't conform to gain acceptance, because when you gain acceptance by conformization, then you lose yourself. Hey, I am the liquor.
I am the liquor.
But yeah, so starting off, I was at the porn store. That's where I worked. My current old lady, Ash, had came out and brought me some snacks. You know, we'd got to rap, and she got cold. I gave her my hoodie, and we had shared some kisses. Hey, boogity, 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 boogity. What is up? What is up?
Thank you for those biddies.
Yes, you guys are fucking amazing. Hope everybody's having a good week. After the podcast finishes, we will be live with some Apex Legends, running that rank grind, baby. Let's go. Yeah, so let's get back to it. The wife and I had met, and we started rekindling things, and got to going on down the road. Sun grew and grew, and basically, like, as we kind of rekindled things, me and my friend, and I had another friend come and stay with him. It was another chick. They kind of started causing drama, being like the root of the drama between me and my ex-girlfriend at the time. So when we had rekindled things, it became a problem. So they had left my house. What I did not know as before me and her started rekindling things, they had went and stayed at her house and was staying on their couch like they was staying on my couch, which we have big hearts. We take people, you know what I mean? It's just how we do things. So a bunch of shit transpires. Come to find out, she's not happy with them staying there. She's upset because they're just like lazy, nasty. All they do is drugs, this and that. They don't ever pick up after themselves. They don't pitch in on food. They don't pitch in on bills. You know, just freeloading, which I feel. So then, she decides little by little start moving things into my house. A little bit here, a little bit there. And then one day I had came home from work. I had been on probation because of some things that I had transpired when I was a lot younger. Like right before I had my son, I had got into trouble with a drug case. And even to this day, it still currently affects me. I'm working on honestly getting it back and focusing on progressing out of that and making it not a part of my life. But so anyway, she comes and is staying every 4 nights, going home one night, coming for 4 nights, staying. I go to work third shift anyway. She's helping me watch Ado after they had met. After like 5 months, they finally got to meet. Well, she decides right after his birthday that we start talking about getting a little bit more serious. You know, her moving in, la da 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 da. Because like I said, she wasn't happy with them being at her house and her roommate's house, and her roommate allowed it more than her. So she just worked all the time, so she was never like paid attention. So I had rushed out one day to get to my class. I had a class in the morning. It was like drug rehabilitation and stepping stones of success in my 10-step program. And I had rushed and did not take the garbage out. Well, we had bought a bunch of whippets, me and another employee, and had did whippets all night. And that's what we did at work. We was bored, fucking have nothing to do. It was always dead. I worked fucking midnight to 8 a.m. every day. I mean, what the fuck else were we going to do, you know? So we turned up the music and had a good time. Well, I forgot to take out the garbage, which put all of the cartridges in the bottom. Well, when my boss, the owner of the store, went to go fucking throw them away, the bag broke and he had to pick them all up. And so I got terminated. I mean, literally, I get home, change, take a shower, change, leave to go to my class. I come home from class, change into my fucking, my pants, and I go to lay down. I literally, my head hits the pillow. Bring. This is da 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 da. I just want to let you know we're no longer going to need you. I was like, oh, damn, it's like that? All right, click. I mean, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and argue with nobody over no fucking job. You don't want me there, I want to be there. So things go for a while, and we progress, and we progress, and we progress. And then I want to say, like, maybe going into winter, that winter. Like, it was like June, July, August, September, October. November wasn't so bad, but December, January, and February, it had got horrible. And we didn't have heat. Well, we rented from my grandma, so my grandma was charging me an arm and a fucking leg to live in this fucking 2-bed, 1-bath house that she only had to pay taxes on anyway to begin with. But it is what it is. Like I said, it's already done. And we didn't have no heat. And so if in a rental, it's not my responsibility to pay for like the heat to get fixed, you know. It's my nana's. She owns it. Fix the shit. So we go a little longer, and eventually we're like, fuck it, I can't do this in the middle of the winter. In the middle of the winter, we just move out. We're like, we don't know where we're gonna go. So we're like, we find a house that her dad had owned, and was like, we'll let you buy it on a rent-own basis. Cool beans, cool beans. You know, thank you so much. Appreciate you very much. Get all our stuff moved. We moved to another town, about 15 minutes away. All fine and dandy. It was fantastic. We had a blast. I mean, when you move and you're under pressure and stress, you really, really see the true colors of people and like how they deal with situations and how they like rationalize and they make all the things, you know what I'm saying, be something that is important. Their what the fuck is it called? Their composure and their stature. So we're in Westville for a hot minute, man. Stay there. Move. Her aunt lived up the corner, so we always, you know what I'm saying, had an on-the-fly babysitter. Her cousin usually babysit our kids, so we really didn't have or need no one that we did not know around the kids or trust them. So that was always a big, big thing in my opinion. And I was always very thankful for that, even though that they might have been unfavorable, but their hearts were so pure. You know what I mean? Like they wasn't the cleanliest, but like you can't default somebody for that. Like in my opinion, that shit's learned early. Like and it breaks my heart to say that about somebody, but like I said, they wasn't very clean. But man, their fucking hearts were made of gold, and that's so hard to come by. When it comes to an individual like that pure gold heart, man, just so happy. Like, and you could tell, like, the kids clearly enjoyed being around them. They would do things. They'd go outside. They'd play with bubbles. They would ride bikes. They would do so much fucking, and it was awesome. And we lived in, like, that close-knit community, you know what I'm saying? Like we really love. Hey, Fenlon. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a good. I ain't got my glasses on. I gotta find my braille here. I hope you're having a good night, my dude. Much love. We will be playing Apex here in a little bit. I'm just filming the first little, or the last little part of this Meet Your Caster from for my podcast, the TrapHouse. But welcome into the TrapHouse, Felon. I do appreciate it, man. Shout out, shout out. So yeah, the kids get to do a lot of things like that. You know, they're riding bikes. They're going up to the school. They get involved in cheer. This is where my daughter's love for cheerleading got involved. It was fucking fanatic. She loved going up there, chilling my boy, my bro, eating some spicy chicken with hickory and oh my god, with hickory and brown sugar while I'm at work. Golly, that sounds good as fuck. Was it smoked? I love a good smoked chicken. So we're there for a year and everything's going pretty swell. Then we end up like just I mean okay, so let me scoot back a little bit. I apologize. Let me scoot back just a smidge. We're on Sheridan Street. When we got back together, like our passion was very high. We was having a lot of sex. We was touching each other. We was real filly touchy, like lovey dovey, like and it was like you could tell we was just fucking addicted to each other. It was awesome. So we're doing a lot of things to kind of like progress our life. We want to be together. You know what I'm saying? And we know that now. Like I was gonna marry her. She wasn't happy. Ended up leaving. Blah blah blah. All that shit transpired, and then we ended up getting pregnant. Uh, I'll never forget where she told me, bro. I'll never forget where we was at a park, for a birthday party, and we was over by where we did cheerleading. So she comes out. Well, happy as a lark, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't be happier. I already have a son. Now I'm gonna have another kid, and it's gonna be with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like not then she was my wife, but like you just know. Like when you meet that person, man, you just know. So like we're excited, we're ecstatic. You know, we're going to the doctors and heard a little heartbeat and see this and see that. Well, a few weeks in, I was getting ready to go to work one day, and come to find out, she had started bleeding. And we had been having sex before, so I kind of felt like at fault a little bit. Not a little bit. I mean, like wholeheartedly, I felt like it was my fault. Uh, So then we get to the hospital, and, they got us sitting there, and she's bleeding, and she's frantic because, she's fucking pregnant, man, like 16 weeks, I think we was, something like that. Get to the hospital and everything, and it just turned different, bro. It ended up being, I'm not going to get into the graphic details and, the amount of blood and just, the look in somebody's eye. We lost the baby. It was very tragic. It was very upsetting. I do have a tattoo on my bicep right here for Daddy's little angel. And that was the first baby that we had lost together. And then just watching to have the person you love go through something so traumatic and it feel like that's their fault was fucking excruciating. But we got through it together, and we learned how to love each other in the time of just utter pain and desperation and just lostness, and we was mad at the world, and we was mad at each other, and that anger, it just made us more in love. It was insane. So we decided that we was gonna try again, and we succeeded. We called her our little rainbow baby, Brenner Bug. It's my daughter. Ado's my son. He was 13 in June, which is fucking asininely crazy, my boy. But so back to the original story. We had moved to another town, and all the stuff was going good, man. We had not really hit no hiccups. We had got a new vehicle. I'm working at this fucking dealership. Well, I forgot that how fucking dark I used to be. So we was at work one day, and one of the fucking techs, man, they thought that they was the shit because they got paid the big bucks to do all these big jobs and fucking do transmissions and motors and this and water pump, and I just was a lube tech, and I was supposed to clean up their tires and blah 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 blah. Well, come my time, I had cleaned all the bays, I had washed everything, scrubbed everything, squeegeed everything, I got all my box locked up. So one of the guys decides that he's going to stay after and do tires, and we're supposed to put the tires out for him. I'm like, I'm not fucking staying, bro. Fuck you. You do it. You're making the money. Handle the shit. It's after hours. I'm going home. So I come in the next fucking day, and I had a stool in front of my laptop that I worked at, my workstation, where I would log all the information I would find when I would inspect the car underneath. What does it need? What do you recommend? So over my stool, this fucking idiot thought he was going to be a tough guy and stuffed 4 tires over my fucking stool in front of my toolbox. So I'm like, all right, motherfucker, you think you're funny. So I clock in. I go to the fucking, what the fuck, the shop foreman or the fucking, what do they call him, service manager? His name is fucking, I'm not going to say his name because, well, I don't want to get in trouble, so, but fuck you, bro, you know who you are. He wasn't there. My boss wasn't there. So I go out there, and homeboy's sitting back in his fucking, they were the little office chairs, so they weren't up like a gaming chair, and they don't have the arms. And it just had a metal swoop and a back brace. And he's laying back like this, and he's laughing, and he sees me with these 2 tires in my hand. And he's a little bit like this, leaned back, and he's like, ha 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 ha. Bro, and I pick up the fucking tires, and I just hit him with them. Throw him down. He falls out of the chair, blah blah blah. Fucking, it goes to be a whole fucking ordeal. We get to arguing, fucking. So then, I get through that. I got through that part of it. Well, they didn't account it as an assault. They just basically said that he fell out of his chair because I threw some tires at him. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So then we get to another part, and they're like, pull this Cadillac in. Do not fucking wash the car. Just clean off the running boards when you're done. Take it back to back to detail and have them shine the running boards. And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. So I take it around to detail, and I said, do not wash it. Just clean the running boards and wipe the running boards down real well with some tire shine. Okay, no problem. So I'm sitting out in my bay at the end of the day, and they had finished the vehicle and pulled it around, and fucking Bill comes out. So he comes out there fucking bitching and moaning, groaning, talking about this, and you opened up a can of whoop ass, and you're gonna get your fucking ass beat. And I'm like, first of all, who's gonna beat my fucking ass? Let's start there. I was like, cause you ain't gonna fucking do it. I was like, I told them exactly what the fuck you told me to say to them. Like, I don't know what you want from me. He got sand in his puss. He was just like the fucking bro. His hair was slicked back. Always wore like fucking riding Harley boots. Rode on the Harley every fuck. He thought he was a big fucking shot, bro. And the dude was fucking a jack dick. Like, you don't even know shit about this shit, bro. You go off what these fucking people tell you, and then they cry to you all the fucking, like, them people in them fucking service shops, bro, are such pussies. Such pussies. But anyway, I told him that. I'm like, bro, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? I was like, come across the desk, man. Come across, come on. He had already had a problem with my pops, so it was like already like a conflict of interest. Well, they terminated me because homeboy felt threatened. And I was like, I honestly should have stuck him in his fucking mouth for treating me like a fucking bitch and saying that I was going to get fucking my ass whooped. I was like, when I simply did exactly what he did. He asked me to do something. I asked them to do something. They didn't do it. They didn't get done. So technically, ain't that his fault if he was responsible? Maybe that's why he's mad. But anyway, so I had lost that job. I was just always like, it seemed like I couldn't get it right. You know what I'm saying? But it was like my wife was always sitting there. She's like, listen, it wasn't meant to be. You got this. Focus on this other thing. And I'm like, all right. So she goes to her aunt, and her, at the time, husband worked at this fucking, like, produce spot, which was fucking solid, bro. I really, really, really enjoyed that place. It's called VVP. They shipped, like, Sigma orders for, like, Wingstop. We did fucking lemons and celery and cucumbers, and we did, like, had like, a specific school route that was especially for me, because I had, like, the most accuracy, and I was always up to do, like, whatever. I would do anything that needed to be done, and as long as I was getting paid the extra hours. So at first I started because my background was so horrible and my driving record was so shit that I started stacking peppers. Like, I would go through boxes of peppers all day long for 9 hours. I would go through peppers, pull out all the bad ones, put the good ones in a different box, and I would stack it in like a certain direction. I would wrap it, and label each one, and then we'd get it ready to put on the semi that would go out at the night. So I'd go home and I'd work 5 days a week, and I had Saturday, Sunday off. Man, mate, bro, them peppers sucked. But I will say this. It taught me to be resilient and appreciate the job of the simplicity. So I was stacking peppers. I probably stacked peppers for 6 months. Dude, I would come home, like, the whole front of me would be nasty because we would get peppers that were on trucks that didn't have, like, the reefer units, which is, like, the cooling unit in the front of a semi. And I would just be covered in, like, pepper juice and fucking, we would have to stack cabbage and onions and unload truck, bro. That shit used to suck. Like, stacking pallets. Like, oh, fuck that. Shit. Shout out to the people that fucking do that every day for a living, because I couldn't do it. Hi, kitty. So, about a year in, 7 months to a year in, they come to me and they're like, hey, you've been here for a long time. You're on time every day. You're very reliable. You do things we ask you. You run things in town in the van. Would you be interested in taking a job? And I'm like, absolutely. I would love to take a job. Do an out-of-town driver job. And I'm like, all right, cool. What do I have to do? So I start driving. Every day we go fucking bumfuck Egypt, bro. Like, 2.5 hours there. We had like 6 hours there and 2.5 hours back every day. I'd go in at 3 a.m. I'd leave out at 3 a.m. because they was always an hour and ahead, and it took me an hour and a half. So I'd like get there as they open. We would do like Chick-fil-A's, Bonefish, Red Lobster, Outback, like just mom and pop businesses in the area. And then we would also do like soda spots in some towns. And then every Tuesday, I would do my school route. What are you doing, nut job? Hey, chill, Bill. Chill, Bill. But no, so that I did the what you call it? Well, it got to the point to where I'd be so accurate, man. Like I'd come home and wouldn't have nothing but pallets in my fucking cart on there. All I have to do is pull up, stack the pallets on my fucking cart, wheel my cart and my fucking pallets in, go fuel my truck, park, and go home every day for a long time. Well, they was like, hey, we want to make you our trainer. And I'm like, all right, sweet. So I picked up all the routes. I would go pick up the produce at some of these spots, the mushrooms, drive them back. Fucking, we would unstack them, restack them, put them on another semi, and ship them out. I mean, it was, I did a lot. Like, but the experiences that I got to, like, endure, like, I'm so thankful and blessed. Like, honestly, it couldn't have been a better situation because it helped me, like, just had learn how to do things on the fly. Like, when you're in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, bro, like, I'll tell you what, and you're in a 13 fucking foot truck, 10 inches or whatever the fuck it was, I can't remember. I think it was like 1310 or something like that. And you have to make sure you're paying attention to overpasses and shit. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, we had a dude hit an overpass. He was going like 60 miles an hour. He knocked a reefer, like a quarter mile back. That's how hard he hit the bridge. But it was really cool, like, to experience some of the things and, like, do the things in the truck and listen to podcasts and get free food and just travel for free. It was really cool. So then I do that probably 3 years. I started there. That the first year was me stacking peppers, and the next 2 was me driving. But yeah, I would train with like some of their elite CDL drivers. We would go down in downtown Indiana. It would be nice, man. You hop out, fucking go in, get your like drop your shit off, and you could walk around the mall and grab, like, if you needed something, you know what I mean? Get your wife a surprise. Stop off and get you some fucking Asian food or some pizza or anything, honestly. They was cool as a fan, bro. Like, do Cracker Barrel. I'm trying to think of what the fuck we all did. Cracker Barrel. We did O'Charlie's, Cracker Barrel, A-Zip Pizza. And, like, I would be going around all these random fucking places. Prisons and fucking... what else would it... There was, like, random ass, like... The cool ones was, like, you would go to the factories that were building, like, machine parts. And you would just wheel your fucking produce order through this mile-long fucking place, bro. And, like, getting to see that firsthand and, like... It was wild. It really was. It was so cool. But... So, we were doing all that, and my son was playing football, man. He was a fucking savage, dude. He would eat up the D-line. He would just pop people. And then, like, it was this one year, and, like, I don't know, it just turned off in him. He wasn't interested no more. Only thing he wanted to do was play video games and talk about streaming, and little what I know, look here where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll get to that. Whew, that was treacherous. So we do a couple Super Bowls, couple playoff games. We would go out to her parents' farm, and we would get pigs and ducks, and we would go out there and hunt, shot deer, fucking, I mean, man, just honestly, you couldn't ask for a better life. Nah, if I'm being honest, go out there. We would fucking sit by the fire, man. They'd hang out. We'd smoke a couple joints. Fucking kids would play, catch lightning bugs, run around with the fucking chickens and the ducks and the fucking everything they could find. Go crawdadding, go fishing. I mean, bro, we was all the time. We was doing something. Like, we was living it the fuck up. Well, then all of a sudden, fucking in the middle of all this chaos, like, so when we had our daughter, her mom and dad would watch him all the time. Like, they would get him from school, and they'd be at the farm. I'd go pick him up from the farm. We'd hang out, feed the fucking pigs, smoke a doobie. You know what I'm saying? Do some work around a farm. If he needed any help, I'd fucking help him cut wood or stack this, or we'd walk the trail in the back and run the dogs and bring the kids in the woods, you know, just to fuck around, you know what I'm saying? I would get like the produce and shit from my job, and that's how we would feed the animals, the chickens, the fucking the pigs. I would just put it in the back of my truck, and like we was all gonna throw it away anyway, so why not let it go and get fed? It couldn't be eaten for human consumption, so basically what we did is we would stack it up in my truck. We would go out, and he would get like donuts and shit from the local donut shop that would throw them away. And we would feed the pigs every day, go out, smoke a doob, hang out, fucking throw some wood in the fucking wood burner, side something, shoot guns, hang out, just, you know, just having a good old fucking time, man. Just, you really honestly couldn't ask for it. And then, so let's see. Fast forward a little bit. We get into a big ass altercation. Her mom and dad had been arguing and shit, and then somehow got drug into the fact that I had sex with her mom or something, some shit that occurred, which was not true. It was a totally fabricated story. So this started a big ass ordeal with me, my wife, her mom, her dad, and just turned into some fucking big ass Jerry Springer shit, bro. And it just got to the point, bro, where I was like, look, I'm fucking done arguing about it. Plain and simple. Like, you have the choice to either shut the fuck up about it, or B, not shut the fuck up and come to my house and you know where the fuck I'm at and there's a backyard. Handle it. You feel me? Like, if that's what you really feel happened, this is your opportunity to fucking get it done or shut the fuck up. I'm not playing with you. I don't play around. Like, you know where I'm at, bro. Like, come on. You know I don't call the cops. It's on you. So, of course, de nada. Because we all know like, bro, if you could give me one instance that it was even a possibility, then I'd give you a benefit of the doubt. But we was never alone. Like, it just was astronomically fucking insane to believe that that would be something. So, it caused a ruckus. It rippled through the family. We was always really good friends with her grandma and grandpa on her mom's side, so nothing really changed there. It kind of just got to the point to where he had moved out. You know, things are going crazy, and then they would be like, he's out, she's in, she's out. Then like they was all out. One was staying with the parents. One was fucking in an apartment. One was in a fucking. It was just different. So it really, really sent a ripple to something that was, I mean, it was ideal. It was really a fairy book. And it's like, and you're in the moment, you're kind of like, do I continue to go down this road and set myself up for failure? Because, like, there had been other altercations that, like, just was red flags. And you're like, nah, we'll work through them. That's what family does, you know? We just work through things. Nah, bro. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. But, so that shit happens. Just a lot of shit. And so, this is my stance. I always told my wife, I said, listen, don't take sides. You don't argue about it. If you don't, you will never forgive yourself for not talking to your parents. Like, my mom at this point had passed away. They had found her dead at my grandmother's house with an overdose of, I want to say fentanyl. She aspirated in her lung and passed away. Hey, we got a toast to the GOAT from Pro. Thank you. Much needed. Much needed. But, yeah, so she aspirated and passed away. So I was always like, listen, no matter what's going on, bro, like, you'll regret at the end of the day not spending that time with your mom or being mad at your dad because they're saying this happened or that happened. Whatever. Like, don't let it get to you. Like, and she never did. She was always a great person to be there for her parents. I got a disclaimer at the end of this too. She great life with her parents, man, and in all honesty, can't complain, really. She was very, like, had the kids involved with them, and, like, even though that we had held an altercation, like, I kept it civil for the kids, you know what I'm saying? That's not fair for my discretions to stop them from having life with people that are good people, but just died fucking crazy, I guess. Not my words, but that's what she says. They're fucking crazy. But, so we're going and going and going one day. I come home from one of my routes and I get pulled into the office by the main boss, which is like the director of consultation and the owner of the business. And he's like, we've been really, really proud of you. The company really, really appreciates everything you do. And, honestly, we're sorry to do this, but we have to lay you off. We are selling the company, and we're only going to need our CDL drivers to do the warehouse routes. We don't need anybody anymore, and we're going to give you 4 weeks of pay. And so I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, it really hit me because I really love the job, and it's like, man, I really enjoyed waking up at 3 a.m. and being off by 3 after in the afternoon sometimes, and, like, being able to go get my fucking kid from daycare and just being there, like, present at every practice and present at every fucking event. Like, that was awesome for me, and it was a blessing, and I'm so thankful that I got to do it while I could. But so that is heavy. So I go out to the parking lot, and I'm sad, bro. Like, I'm crying. So I call my wife, and I'm like, babe, I promise you I didn't do nothing this time. And it's just like constant, like, feeling and letting somebody down, like, and her being so positive all the time. She's like, listen, you have nothing to worry about. I've had your back. I'll always have your back. Nothing else matters. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, you can't replicate that. And I'm so blessed to be able to have that in my life. My wife is just a fucking blessing. Shout out to her. Miss Sticky, you are amazing, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my fucking heart. I love you. Thank you for sticking by my side, being loyal, and being true. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fuck. So she comes out. She's like, we'll figure it out. So I post on Facebook, hey, need a job. Anybody that knows me knows I'm willing to be a hard worker. I'll show up on time. I'm loyal, blah, 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 blah. So I get a phone call. It was a couple weeks later. I was kind of freaking out because I couldn't find a job. But I was so in love with it because it was like I was home. I had some money put back. I really wasn't too worried. Like at this point we had already owned the house. Like we wasn't paying payments on it. Like her parents had given it to us as a gift for Christmas or something. There's like, you have $2,000 left on the house. Just don't worry about it. Merry Christmas. We love you. I was like, tight. Thank you. You have no fucking idea, man. Miss Sticky is a legend. I can't wait. So I did speak with her, and I do think maybe we'll film an episode of the podcast on the marital. I think I'm going to try to get her to be incorporated, and I think it'd be pretty fucking awesome, and everybody gets to meet her. Because the world needs to know what fucking angel is on this walking this earth. I promise you. It saved me, man. She saved me, and I'm thankful for it. So about 3.5, 4 weeks later, I get a phone call from a friend saying, "Hey, my uncle needs a mower. Are you interested?" And I'm like, "Your uncle, blah, blah, blah." Well, her dad's friend had and was working for them. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I get to go work with him, you know. He's fucking awesome. I really enjoy being, like, around him, and I'm thankful for fucking Tom was his name. He got to show me the ropes. I trusted him. He told me, you know what I'm saying, we could trust this guy, smoke weed, blah, blah, blah. You ain't got to worry about drill but doom on the mower. We never drove. There was a guy that was on probation that drove. Because I guess the other guy had trusted him. Cool beans, whatever. So anyway, we get to mowing the yards, and I'm about 3.5, 4 weeks in, and Tom, we go get Tom, and Tom just stopped showing up. Like he was a bigger guy, going through some things with his health and his life, so he was kind of like distraught, you know, kind of taken back. Which I'm like, all right, cool, it is what it is, no big deal. So they terminate him, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I move up. I'm like number 2 in line. The only other dude that was this other guy named, we won't put his name in because what I'm about to tell you is about to get crazy. So the main guy, that's what we'll call him, the main guy. Main guy's driving around. He's showing me all these fucking stops that we go to, and this one and that one, and I'm like, all right, cool. We get to go in probably about 3 more weeks, and he had just gotten an altercation, fucking at something or another, and was partying all night. And our owner found out, and he was fucking pissed. So he's like, "Hey, can you do these routes by yourself?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really. That's a lot of fucking jobs to cover." And he's like, "All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to take over. You're my foreman, and he's going to listen to you." And I'm like, hold on, what? He's like, yeah, homeboy had a falling out and blah, 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 and a relapse, and I can't trust him. And I'm like, whatever. Cool beans. So we get to doing it for a couple weeks. I fill out the time slips, you know, fucking all that, or time punches or whatever the fuck this is a piece of paper and he wrote me fucking cash money, dog. Let's get it, you know? That's the way business should be done. Goes good for about 6 months. Get through the rainy season. It was slow. We had like 3-4 days of no work. Beautiful. We'd covered on the Friday, Saturday. You know, we smoked a couple doobies. Go fucking mow the big lots. Any residentials that needed mowed, which we could do it quick. We had 360 mowers. You know what I'm saying? We could do 2 at a time. He do 2 in this area. I do 2 in that area. Fantastic. Well, we got to this big business account. It was a big lot of things, you know, we had to fucking do. And it would take all day. Like, you would take literally Friday, you would go out there and you would start on the front. And you would do the whole fucking front lot. He would do the inside front lot. I would do the inside back, and he would do the outside. So then we went to, they had these fence lines they wanted cleared with, like, a weed eater and some some weed eating spray. Parking lots cleared. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? So we get to doing it, and I mean, it's a fucking task, bro. Like, it's a lot. It's like 5 miles of ditch. Like, we had 2 weed eaters, bro, and he started on one end, and I started on one end. Wow, 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 wow. This motherfucker gets mad one Friday at this spot. what we do is we would clear one ditch every Friday. So we would mow and then clean a ditch out. We would clean a ditch out and weed eat the one that we had already done. So we'd mow, weed eat, do a fresh ditch. That way it would all stand back up when we came back the next week to weed eat, clean it out. We get to the last ditch and a half, and this fucking moron walks away on me, bro. And I'm like, fuck. You fucking prick. So I finish this fucking shit by myself. I take the fucking truck, take the fucking trailer, bro. I turn around. I go back to the fucking compound, because that's what they called it. I backed this fucking trailer in, dude. And I told him, I said, listen, this motherfucker walked away from me and left me to do it by my fucking self. I was like, so for the pay, the hours that he walked away and wasn't there, and all this shit, I want his cut of the money. Like, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Like, that's how this is going to work. Like, he wasn't there, I did it. What the fuck? He's like, all right, no problem. You know, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for being so loyal and not leaving. I'm like, I wouldn't do that to you. I just wouldn't. So, we get to working. Me and his nephew. Kid was a fucking gangster, boy. You get on a motherfucking mower, boy. Blow that shit, it'd be done. We would rock out. We'd be done by 2 o'clock some days, bro. Fan-fucking-tastic. Start at 8, 9, 9:30, 10. Got to get done till 2. Shit, we smoked some doobs, hit some pins. And his uncle was cool as a fan. He's like, bro, if your work's getting done and your work's done right, I don't give a fuck what you do. Just don't smoke in my truck. Don't smoke while you're driving. Problem. No problem. Shit. We just roll one up and ride the motherfucking mowers while we was working. Get 2 birds stoned at once, as Ricky says from Trailer Park Boys. But nah, so we get a big ass fucking conventional fucking mow for these big ass fucking like Walmarts. They're not Walmarts. They're called Meijer back in Illinois. So we go to mow them, and it would seem like every week we would go to mow, we get like 2-3 flat fucking tires. Like, the lots were fucking astronomically big. Like, you have no fucking, like, it took 14 hours to mow 4 stores with 3 mowers and a grandstand mower. Like 360 mowers and a grandstand mower. And we would have to weed it too. So we got Tom back, which was the fat guy that was having some health problems. He comes back. So it's me, Tom, old boy, the main guy, and his nephew. And it's all of us out there working our asses off. Boom. So his nephew finally gets his job back because he was a union tree cutter and they were just out of work at the moment. He goes back to start working. So after he goes back to start fucking working, it was me. It was just the same 3 guys. The main guy, Tom, and me. The main guy was back driving. He had earned his trust or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So then Tom has another episode. So it's just me and this dude working 14 hours a day to cover these fucking big-ass lots. And I'm like, fuck, man, it's getting to be a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're getting paid 60 hours a week, 6 days a week sometimes. Like, this isn't what I signed up for, you know? Like, I wanted a job. So homeboy had quit. Fucking, because he had some more health issues. So he's like, all right, cool. We'll just send you and the main guy over and you guys can do the lots. So we get to doing it, no problem. Well, this fucking guy decides that he's going to go on another bender and walk out and leave on me because I fucking told him he was being a dumbass to ride the fucking mower the right way because he would fucking like pull it and then push it and pop a wheelie. And I'm like, bro, we just fucking have like 5 flat tires. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop. These fucking tires are not cheap. So we go. He left. So it's just me, and I'm like, what do you want me to do, bro? What do you want me to do? He was like, finish up the one you're at, put the mower back on the trailer, come home. I'm like, all right, cool. So we went back the next day. It was me, the owner, and the nephew. Went back, mowed the other ones. He's like, do you have any friends, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? I have a guy. So I called a guy that had worked with me at VVP, and I was like, hey, you were a good worker. You're my boy. You've always been lower. Shout out Brandon. Shout out Brandon Runner, bro. You're a fucking legend, my boy. I trained him. One of my scariest training sessions ever in a fucking box truck. Shout out you, Brandon. Fucking nuts. I'll share that with you guys one day in a little different context. It's fucking insane. But so I got my boy, and he's talking. He ended up meeting this fucking guy with some pest control shit, right? It was honestly pretty lit. Like, I didn't think that he would honestly. So he was driving the routes like this. He did the same routes that I did. Like, he would do the opposite school route. So I did like the east, and he did the west. And then like we would meet afterwards and have lunch, talk about the day, smoke a doobie, and go home. But he was mowing with me one day, and my wife calls me. She's like, let's move to Florida, and I'm like, all right, babe, whatever. She's like, seriously. She's like, I got a job interview this afternoon. I was like, all right. I was like, if that's something you really want to do, and you really land this job, we'll talk about it. So literally lands this job. Fucking couldn't believe it. Like, the odds were fucking insane. Lands the job. Calls me that same day. Was like, I got the job. And I'm like, holy what? She's like, yeah. I can't believe it either. And I'm like, hold the fuck up. Do what? So I call my boss. I'm like, hey, I'm moving to Florida. My wife just told me. I've been working you for this long. I ain't never fucked you around. I said, I don't know what you want me to do. I said, I'm just being honest with you, bro. I said, I'm telling you the information as I'm receiving it. So literally, man, like weeks go by. We ended up fucking selling our house. Sold all the shit in our house, like our beds, our fucking, all the furniture in it. TVs we wrapped up and took with us. All of our clothes we took with us. Well, the week before we was leaving, I'm waiting to take my son to fucking practice and my daughter to cheer practice, and I'm waiting to turn into the park. And I'm getting ready to turn, and this dude was just on his cell phone, hit me going about 40 miles an hour in the back, ass in with my fucking son and daughter in the car. Just totaled my fucking truck. Like, I'm so lucky, brother, he didn't hit me into oncoming traffic, because like they were going 45 mile the other way, and he was going 45 miles an hour this way. So if you can imagine 45 hit me this way, and then 45 mile an hour hit me this way, it probably would have killed us all. It would have killed all three of us. Thank fucking God, bro. Like, plain and simple. But yeah, so that happened. So then we were like, all right, everything happens for a reason. They're going to total my car. Well, what happened was they had totaled my car, but what they didn't realize is they had missed the KBB by, it was like $200. And they was like, if you want us to just cut you a check and you keep the car yourself, then that's what we'll do. So that's what I did. I was like, all right, whatever. So I met a body shop, had the fucking body shop put my car back together for fucking what the check cost. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it back together. We had rented a van on the other person's insurance, and then basically what happened was we rode the van down to Florida with all of our shit in it. On the way down, my fucking wife got a speeding ticket in Peach County in Atlanta. Miss Sticky was going like 91, 93 and a fucking 60 or some shit like that. It was hectic, but it was fun. It was a hell of a fucking road trip. We stopped in like Tennessee, stayed overnight, and went to the pool with our kids. You know, just enjoyed the trip down here, because we really, like I said, we really didn't have shit. So we come down the next day. We just drive all the way the fuck through. We drive all day, all night, get here in the afternoon, and bro, like, we're driving through town, and it was not the favorable parts. And I'm like, fuck, where are we? What's going on? What the fuck is going on here? So then we were just like, all right. We got to the apartments. They were fucking. She had found this apartment, put everything together, got our lease and everything signed up and fixed, and all that shit happening. And then we was down here for a few weeks, and she started her job. And I sat at home jobless, and I walked our kids to school every day. And basically, since I had worked for that company that did the truck, I was collecting unemployment on them for the first 5 or 6 months that I was here. So that was nice. I got to kind of like acclimate. I got to enjoy time with my kids. I got to get right and get my medical marijuana card. We got everything swapped over into Florida plates, fucking licenses. Became a true Florida resident, which was fantastic. Loved our first apartment. It was fantastic, We was up top. Pool right across the way. We go pool all the fucking time, man. It was just phenomenal. I think we got SeaWorld passes. No. The first year down here, we didn't get nothing. We would go to like the springs. We would go to the beach with my cousin. Then I think the second year down here, we ended up going to the Keys and going lobster diving with my cousin and her boyfriend. And the kids got to see lionfish on the reefs. Sharks. We went deep sea fishing since we've been here. One thing I did forget to say, when we was back in Illinois, my daughter had a chest cold, and when the chest cold was fucking real bad, like one morning I decided not to go to work. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna call in, and something ain't right. Something ain't right. So I get to fucking laying back down with her, and I grab her, and she's like, like she couldn't breathe. Like she could breathe in, but like wasn't getting oxygen. I'm like, what the fuck? So we freak out, get her to the hospital. Found out she had fucking croup, and her airways was restricted. So yeah, that was fucking insanity. But it was honestly a blessing, man, because little things like that, man, tell you, never take nothing for granted, because in the blink of an eye, that shit's gone. Like, what the fuck happened? Where'd everything fucking go? Why? What? Huh? But, so we moved down here. Second year, we got the SeaWorld pass. Fucking couple little things go on. Her fucking grandma and grandpa come down. We take her mom to fucking, the SeaWorld, and fucking her sisters to SeaWorld, and her fucking little friends moved down here with their daughter. People got to follow fucking the lead. But literally, this all happened in like a couple weeks. Like, no one fucking believed me. They're like, you're just going to up and leave and not have had said nothing. I'm like, bro, first of all, you knew the day I knew. Like, bitch, I move in silence. Like, you're lucky you even found out. So, yeah, the second year we went to the Keys, did some fucking diving on the reefs in like fucking 60-degree water. It was freezing, let me tell you. Get in the reef, go out to about 400 plus feet down, probably about 1,000 feet down, honestly. They show us a few little things out there in the channel, in the deep sea. We go to Key West. We was down in fucking Key West having a blast. We've experienced some hellified hurricanes. Ian was a Cat 5 when it hit us. Ripped our complete fence out of the fucking ground. Like, we have no privacy fence left whatsoever. It ripped every fucking panel off the ground. Like, they had to have a company come remove all the posts out of the ground and put this little jank pool fence around the pool. It's fucking insane. It was astronomically insane. My daughter started a dance class down here at Barber's School of the Arts. It was really fucking phenomenal. They did an awesome job with their production when they went to Polk State. Now she dances for an Epic, which is fantastic. They have do a fantastic job. A little skittish on their fucking, like, their events. Like, everything's, like, just fly by the fucking wire. We don't know what's going on. We didn't ask questions. We just showed up and kind of came to perform, So, and I think as a dance parent, that's something I have to get used to as well. the son, we was literally went to, the first year we was down here, we went to Thanksgiving with my cousin and like her sister, which is my aunt. They live just 40 minutes. I mean, not even 40 minutes. It's like a 20-minute ride if there's no traffic, really. It's not far at all. 40 minutes if there's traffic. But, so we was having Thanksgiving there, and we was on our way home, and my son had brought up Apex Legends, and I'm like, I heard about that, and I fucking didn't like it when it came out. I didn't know how to play it. Everybody was fucking killing me all the time. He's like, you just gotta give it a try, Dad. Like, keep pushing. He's like, just because you die a bunch of times doesn't mean that you're not good. It just means you don't know. And I'm like, that comes from me whooping your ass in Madden all them years. Bro, I used to beat his ass in Madden. Beat his ass in Madden. Like, I'd beat him 100 points to nothing. And then, like, I'd let him score, and he'd start talking shit, and he'd beat him like 164 to 7. I used to just run the score up for no reason, bro. I used to be a dick. So, yeah. Introduced me back to Apex Legends and was talking to me about how, like, people stream. I'm like, explain to me what's going on with the streaming thing. And he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. He showed me Timmy, showed me Tim the Tap Man, and showed me Doc Disrespect. And I'm like, I've always been a funny individual. Sounds fun. I was like, let's see. I'm always playing games anyway. Why the fuck not just enjoy it? Get a stream going, I got the stream going. That was 2.5 years ago. Just steadily been grinding, honestly. I cannot complain. I'm very, very thankful. I found a job down here about 8 months in. I was one of the cooks at a local wing spot and kind of worked my way up to assistant kitchen manager and then like sous chef, and it was fun. It was honestly really fun. It was really fast paced. I met some really good people, had some hellified altercations in the kitchen. Then we had an issue there with my money and my days. Me being a salary manager, I had a X and X days, X hours. And one day I didn't meet it because I had to fly back home because my Nana had tried to commit suicide walking into traffic. So I was unpresent for one day, so they docked my pay. And I told them if they docked my pay, that consider that my 2-week notice. They docked my pay. I left that day. They docked my pay. I left that day and went to another restaurant and applied for the chef position and got it. Immediately got it. Like another kid I had hired and had been his trainer at the Wing Spot Dukes here where I live at. Honestly, he's the one that got me the job. So, and I've been there ever since for about 3 years now. It'll be 3 years this year. And it's beautiful. It's my slice of heaven. I'm blessed. I'm so thankful to be able to have it. We do work 6 days a week. Some days they're fucking long days, but some days the long days are short as fuck too. You just gotta look past the hard things and look at the things that you want to see. To current date, the wife and I are fantastic. We learn about each other every day. We literally just had like a 2-hour like conversation about all of the different aspects of like how people think and like men and women. Like we're always talking, and that's fantastic because like without conversation, and she's just so like mind blowing. She's a hell of a woman, so I'm blessed there for sure. Let's see what else. Anything else happened since I've been here? While we were down here, the first fucking daycare we ended up fucking, my wife goes to get my daughter from the daycare from the school. Like, they would go literally pick them up from the school and take them right across the street to the daycare, like right up the street from our house. She goes to pick up my daughter from daycare one day, and there's about 20 fucking sheriffs there, and I guess that they were involved in some fucking big-ass case down here, and help some fucking parent do some dumb shit. So Grady made it a fucking example of him, which shout out to my boy. Like, you're amazing. That's why we moved down here, to get away from all the fucking stupid riffraff shit. So, currently, right now, we're looking to buy a house. So, it's a lot. It's a big process. Seems like everything that we want, everybody else has more money and or just gets to it first. So, like I said, if it's meant to be, it'll be. I honestly am very thankful for what I have. I try not to focus on what I don't, because then, you kind of get down. But we're blessed. We stay blessed, and we stay true to fucking what we started, And I think if you do that, and you love true, and you stay faithful, and you stay fucking loyal, and you keep focusing on the path, eventually you gain them miles. And when you get done with them miles, man, you can say you've been every fucking way. So, with that being said, man, we're going to cut the podcast here to hour 5. I hope you got to know me a little bit better than the last 3 videos. So, what I got for next podcast is the intro video that I played of Joey Diaz. I had actually got his autobiography that he wrote with the assistance of Erica Florentine. I'm gonna read a bit in this and tell you what I think, because I'm very interested to see what they got to offer in this book, and maybe I'll tag the link down in Amazon, and you guys can go buy yourself a copy and read it and see what you think, if it's interesting enough. So, I hope everybody has a fantastic night. Like I said, we will be live in about 15 minutes with some Apex Legends gameplay, ranked. I hope everybody has a fantastic night, man. Like I said, I couldn't be me without you, and you are everything in the world. I hope you have a fantastic night, man. I love you very much. Sticky Haze out. Peace!